This is why Kick Legend, I'm going to show you a few gun disarms. Welcome to Kick Legend, where I help you athleticize your product to your fight. As a caveat, I don't film a lot of self-defense things. I don't film a lot of combatives and tactical things because my perspective tends to be more hobbies, sports, martial arts for its own sake. I do want to point out, even though Nick here is extremely qualified, this is not meant to be an instructional video in the sense of now you know how to do this. I would also like to point out that Nick, his background is in karate, but he's the bona fide goods when it comes to the tactical stuff. Sometimes those of us more from the FMA community might automatically turn on this sort of chuckle, karate and tactical. Is a prime example, right? And I always point out our own arrogance, our own ignorance, right? So since Kurt has a little more interest and background in this himself, I asked him to please help Nick demonstrate, and I'll let Nick introduce himself.
My name is Nick Smith. I'm with ATAC, it's the Tactical Division of Hook Country Karate. We're based out of Texas, San Antonio area. Once again, we are a martial arts organization dealing in instruction to the civilian populace, but our tactical division specializes in working with law enforcement, private security, private military companies, and even military contracts. The gun disarms that we'll be demonstrating are ones that we currently teach to law enforcement and military. They're designed for situations that these professionals face on a regular basis, and they're tested, tried, and true. So to start us off, we'll do the frontal positions where the firearm is in visible line from the person defending themselves. For this, typically this defense works both for a one-handed presentation, right or left hand, as well as a reinforced or isometric tactical shooting position where two hands are involved in gripping the firearm. First, the presentation in the face. From here, first movement from here, of course, is we go straight with our front presentations. We're considering, or we're trying to make sure that we go straight to shoot scenario. So it's an instantaneous disarm to shoot. From here, it's boom, straight up, coming in on the trigger, on the shoot. From here, what happens is first movement is getting out of alignment, rotating the gun. This is going to break the grip and reduce the strength or tension he's got, his ability to retain the weapon. From here, this hand simultaneously, as if I'm clapping, making contact with his forearm on the way in. This is going to break his structure. From here, I ridge this hand in, striking the pad at the base of my thumb and wrist to his thumb, and then I'm just doing a straight over the top disarm. As I extend the barrel towards him, my track hand is cleared. So I know there's nothing between. I go straight into a grip and shoot. So this is a punch and shoot, straight into the body. Okay? Once again, from here, boom, up. Fast all the way through. Sorry. Okay? Second one is down low. From here, can't do the same type of articulation because you have to go down like this. So from here, pivot, take the body out of alignment. From this point, we immediately, once this clears our body, this is in line with this hand. This hand comes up, pivots the gun back in. As I extend the barrel towards the body, the grip rotates and goes straight into the shoot position. So from the front, here, boom, straight up in the shoot. If I'm in a chair from here in this position, say I have these legs out in front from here, this comes up, driving the firearm up. Because once again, all these are designed to make sure that if there is an accidental discharge, you're trying to relieve or eliminate chance of unnecessary bystanders being struck. Striking the barrel up at the same time as this is going up, this hand's coming and pulling down. So it causes this motion. Does a top strip. Straight into a strike to the body. At that point, then from my seated position, I would throw a kick at his knee to buckle him back, change, pull my gun back in for retention, be ready to fire if I need to. Okay? It's a little difficult, awkward from seated position, but the mechanics are right there.
So you notice we're smiling a little bit less this episode, right? Because this is serious material, right? Again, personally, I don't like to play with it very much because it's not adding to my quality of life. I was talking to Nick about this before. Maybe you want to say a few words about that yourself.
No, like I said, this is designed for primarily the law enforcement or military professional that's going to be faced with this scenario. And when you have first responders, you have SWAT teams, SRT teams, HRT teams, guys that are fugitive recovery, U.S. Marshal Service. They're facing this scenario on a regular basis. So they're inclined to face this type of situation much more than the average civilian is. So it's not necessarily your average karate class gun defense. This is meant to take a life instead of lose a life. And it's meant to do it quick and effectively.
Yeah, so if you have interest in this, I'll put some links to Nick's organization here, and it's always a good idea to check out people's credentials when things get serious, right? If you learn your jump spinning back kick incorrectly, no harm, no foul on some level, right? It's good to have trusted people who can point you the right way. And they're always going to be eager to discover new stuff. So you might have a guy that, he's never heard of. And I think those who know it can very quickly discern if that's the real thing or not.
Correct.
Right? And so don't hesitate to check them out via the links. And thanks for watching. This is What Kick a Legend. Keep your chin down, elevate your striking.